to see someone like Russell Brand give that up. Now he's still in his full self expression in the world, but now he's a storyteller, a truth teller, and he's got a higher purpose. Being in Hollywood for years and was like yoga teacher to a lot of stars, A-listers, certainly B-listers, and seeing the inside of that world, there's a lot of addiction, a lot of narcissism, and the addiction to celebrity, to fame, and what that gets you. And it's to see someone like Russell Brand give that up. Now he's still in his full self expression in the world, but now he's a storyteller, a truth teller, and he's got a higher purpose. Now, whether you agree with him or I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of it, man, it's good stuff. Partly it's become what I find awakening about someone like him without having to buy into everything he's saying, because he's someone who's separating out truth from lies for himself in his own life. Well, and that world is so seductive, right? So even as a yoga teacher myself, like being okay, whatever you want to call it, a well-known global yoga teacher, instructor, built a global yoga brand. And so, and seeing like how people, and in that world, I used to do all these yoga conferences with the big name yoga teachers, the biggest names. I was usually one of the biggest draws, easily hands down. And I was like, you can really get caught up in all that. But I saw early on, it was like something about it to me was like, well, these people, like, I appreciate the appreciation that people are giving back, like, okay, these practices you've shared, these concepts or principles, practices have changed my life in such an amazing way. So I'm that I appreciate. But then it crosses this line where people put you up on a pedestal. They see you in a certain kind of light, to me, that's unhealthy. And it's the guru complex too. It's like there's, and when I say complex, you can play the guru, but then it's also the followers that play into the guru complex or system or model, whatever you want to call it. But it was like early on, I was like, I don't want to be anybody's guru. I don't want to be anyone's leader. That's where I carved out my own kind of unique style of yoga, and I demystified it. I new aged it. I took out the new agey, a lot of the kind of mystical or new agey stuff that can go around yoga, and I extracted just the very practical physical practices, breathing practices, principles for living that optimize your health, your well-being, your vitality, just health in a holistic sense, mind, body, kind of health. And I appreciated those aspects. And so I designed it in a way that I wasn't the guru, the one with all the answers is what I want to say. I created a body of principles, a methodology that people then could use on their own for themselves. It wasn't dependent on a teacher. It could awaken the teacher in each and every person, and from principles, they could learn on their own and have their own, discover for themselves, rather than giving them the answers and them living from my answers or anything like that. But my point in saying this is that there's something I had to discover that was like, no, I don't want that. But people do that anyhow. They put you on a pedestal anyhow, but people put you on a pedestal in part so that it is just automatic, but in part by what we're talking about here, it's hypnotic. They've been trained from an early age to just buy what's given externally. And if something can profoundly change their life, or for good or bad, it's people buy into narratives externally. And I think to be able to distinguish for yourself and discover for yourself lies from truth, illusion from falsity, from reality, story, unreality from reality, story from fact, or truth, because I think otherwise we're walking around like like we're just these automatic, we're being pulled like puppets, almost our strings, and we're an automatic pilot, and we're triggered all the time. We're taking everything personally because we're actually not there. A not you is there. And then you get elevated up and you're around people and friends who elevate you. But man, all it takes is one person to come along and cut you off at the knees, and then you're a pile of crap on the floor.